Hi everybody and welcome. My name is Britt and this is my partner community,
Lolly.
and we are the Beautiful People.
We are here to promote unity and community.
We're looking to include people who inspire us personally and be able to share with you and learn from them in the process.
We're here for positivity, peace, laughter, and of course to make fun of each other.
So follow along as we show you that the world and the people in it are much cooler than you think. Welcome once again to another episode of the Beautiful People Vlogcast. I'm Britt and this is my partner community.
Lolly, hello.
And we're here tonight with one of our really inspirational to us
Absolutely.
Community members, Mike Whiter.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Hello, Mike.
Mike, thanks for being here this evening. We appreciate it.
So tell us your story. And I know that's super generalized, but I know you can do this for us.
I was in the Marines for 11 years, from 1996 to 2006. I had 2 combat tours. I was in Kosovo in 1999. My unit, 3rd Battalion 8th Marines, was the first unit on the ground in Kosovo. They had the air campaign first, and then they sent the ground troops in. And then in 2004 and 2005, I was in Iraq. Saw combat in both theaters. When I got home from Iraq, I was having a really hard time readjusting to life. When you're out in the desert and getting mortared and getting shot at, it's a lot of adrenaline.
What did you do when you were there? What was your...
I was the
function?
battalion ammunition chief. So I was in charge of everything ammo related on the base.
Okay. That's something I couldn't do. That's an admirable thing.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a very admirable thing.
You were talking about your adrenaline. It's just constant at this point, or?
It's not constant. It's not constant. But when it's there, when the adrenaline's there, it's a lot of sitting around with your thumb up your ass. But then there's that 20% of the time where it's and you're go. And when you get back from that, the United States is just it's different. It's different. And after you get out of the Marine Corps or out of the military, you're around different type of person. Military guys, Marines especially, are a special breed of individual. It takes a certain kind of person to join the Marines in the first place.
Agreed.
It turns you into a different person. You're completely brainwashed in boot camp. And it's a culture of violence and it's a culture of hatred.
So when you say that you're brainwashing boot camp, what aspect of brainwashing or what?
Well, you're a kid when you go and you're impressionable. I was 19 years old. I had nothing going on in Atco, New Jersey, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
I would have wound up dead or in jail, I'm sure, because I was a punk kid.
A lot of people say that there's situations.
Yeah. What else was there for me? I dropped out of high school. I wasn't going to go to college. What else was there for me? I'm not going to work at a gas station the rest of my life. Let's do something meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. I signed up for the Marine Corps on a bet, actually, which was a couple of friends and I were driving around, and my friend Bill looked at me and he said, "If you do it, I'll do it." As we were driving past the recruiting station, all 4 of us went in and signed the contract with St.
All right, going right into it.
It's pretty cool though. You said do something meaningful. So you felt that was meaningful to you.
At the time, being the person that I was, I was of the mindset that if I went in the Marines, I would get to see the world and I would get to shoot at people, and I was an idiot. What can I say? I was 19 years old.
Yeah.
So you come back, and where are you at when you come back? What state are you at?
I had a hard time readjusting. My girlfriend and I ended up breaking up, and that was like I snapped. I was already having some depression and anxiety issues, so I was on a couple of medications.
How many is a couple?
2, Prozac and Klonopin.
Okay, so just okay. Wow.
I took a bottle of Prozac, and not knowing what it would do to me, hoping it would kill me. Then I called my ex-girlfriend, not the one that had just broken up with me, my daughter's mother, and she ended up taking me to the hospital. And I went to, they put me in a psychiatric facility. I forget where, somewhere in South Jersey. From there, I was transferred to Walter Reed, and then from Walter Reed, I was transferred back to Camp Lejeune, and I was out of the Marines within 5 months of that. Kind of, it ruined my career, but I wouldn't be where I am now if it hadn't happened. I'm a better person for all of that. You know, when I got out of the Marine Corps, after that I was medically discharged, diagnosed with a personality disorder not otherwise specified.
Diagnosed by.
The Department of the Navy.
So you had to go to like the naval doctors.
Yes.
And then they put you through a psychological test.
The naval doctors put me through psychological exams, and so after I got out of the Marine Corps, I was put out on a personality disorder not otherwise specified. And from everything I was told, like I'm 30 years old at the time. There's no way I would have made it as long as I did in the Marine Corps if I had a personality disorder. I went to the VA after that, and they diagnosed me with PTSD immediately. In 2006, they weren't really diagnosing people with PTSD. It wasn't a thing then. It was new, you know, it wasn't.
That's crazy to think
Yeah,
about,
so the VA diagnosed me with PTSD and just started throwing pills down my throat. I was taking, you know, at one time probably eight to 9 pills a day, or per serving, like in the morning, the afternoon.
Wow.
So.
You did 9.
Yeah.
That's
But over
insane.
over a period of 5 years, I counted them once as over 40 medications.
That is
they
insane.
tried.
In one day.
No, 40
I was
total
saying.
over.
That- I
It's
mean,
still
even-
40 in 5 years. And at this point, where were you? What did it get? Where did it
I
put
was
you? What did it do?
310 pounds. I was on my couch. I was drooling on myself a lot of the time. Didn't care whether I woke up in the morning or not. Hoping most of the time that I didn't. Usually, I would take handfuls of pills and just hope I didn't wake up. I have a dog, Gunny. He's a great yellow lab. I love it. He's my best friend. He was the reason I woke up in the morning. He was the reason that that I did stay alive. I think I'd pass out from the pills I was taking, and he'd just lay by me and lick my face and worry about me the whole time. So like that. It's a lot of the reason that I stopped taking all the pills. I just.
So let's get there.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
I was sitting on my couch, as I did most days,
Right.
watching the National Geographic channel, and that's all I watched too. National Geographic,
So you
Discovery.
just no activity. You're just like in a zombie state. At that
Yeah,
time.
absolutely. No emotions at all, no feelings.
So,
So I was watching the National Geographic channel, like I did every other day, and there was a special on about medical marijuana, and there were some veterans who said that they have found healing with cannabis. So I used weed a little bit in high school. Never really used it in the Marine Corps because you get drug tested and
I was gonna say,
all
probably
that stuff.
couldn't.
And, I believed the stigma for a long time. And I thought that medical marijuana was just a pathway to recreational and all that crap. But then I was, I'm drooling on myself. What the fuck do I have to lose? Because those drugs, they get rid of anxiety and depression. But
so like benzos and.
Benzos, SSRIs. I was on a lot of opiates.
So you're doing like the full spectrum. You were doing
Yeah.
in the morning. You were going one way, in the afternoon another, and the.
They had me on methadone and Klonopin at the same time. You know what that does, right?
Wow.
I mean, it's just like shooting heroin. But yeah.
Wow.
So
And how long were you on all these meds? How long was this comatose state?
from the end of 2006 until May 31st, it's my birthday in 2013.
Oh, so 7 years. You spent 7 years
Not completely 7 years.
Yeah, but
I
in a
had
medicated
times where
state.
I was, okay, or not okay, but
in a medicated state,
Oh, yeah.
not a
Yeah.
comatose state, but a medicated state,
Yeah.
that you were medicated for
7
this.
years, wow.
Now, did the VA offer, I mean, they offer a lot of meds apparently.
yeah.
Did they offer any type of, counseling?
Oh
or-
yeah, yeah.
They did.
They,
So
they,
I'm ignorant.
they had counseling and therapy that I was very resistant to because I didn't want to feel anything. That's why I took the pills.
Right.
Okay. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I
it's
drowned
escape.
myself in
Mhm.
pills. I did not want to feel anything.
Mhm.
So I didn't go to therapy. I'd make
Right.
excuses every week why I didn't want to go to therapy. And I justify them in my head, legitimately justify them in my head.
How did you justify not going, and how to get you where you are now?
Well, therapy now, now that I use cannabis instead of all those pills, therapy helps me tremendously. Once I allowed it to take hold and actually help me, and a turning point in therapy for me. I have a great therapist at the VA. I love her to death. She's definitely one of the good ones. I've gone through a few of them. But now that I've been with this therapist for six years now.
It's a long time.
But I started to really trust her, and the moment I started to trust her was when I would give her reasons I didn't want to leave my house, that I felt safe in my house, and she decided one day to say, well, what if somebody firebombed your house while you were in it? Like, how safe are you really in your house? And that's the kind of thing that I need to kickstart something for me.
You need to hear that.
Yeah. I need that tough love. You know what I mean? Like I'm not somebody that needs to be stroked and I don't need you to be nice to me or anything. Just tell me how it is. Be straight up with me, because that's how I'm always going to be with you. So called a friend who got me some weed and came over to my house and we smoked a joint, and I felt happy. I felt, period. I felt, because I hadn't felt for that long time. And this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I don't want to take these pills anymore. And I straight up cold turkey everything.
Insane. Just literally that day you were just done?
And how many
not
pills were
that, not that day. I was on I was on morphine. I was on Lexapro. I was on Klonopin. I was on a lot, man. I was on a lot.
And wait, and so did you wean yourself off, or did you really quit cold turkey?
I quit cold turkey.
And just
Everything
smoking?
everything but the Lexapro.
Okay.
Because with the Lexapro, I started to get brain, almost like electric pulses in my
You detoxed.
Yeah.
Is what you're doing from
Yeah.
it. Yeah, but did you smoke that weed every day?
I
Did you go over
smoked
that?
a lot of weed, and then I didn't really know where to get it, and so I was getting brick, dirty, nasty brown weed, and just smoking by the handfuls, just pipes and bowls and bongs and anything I could get my hands on. I probably went through in a month. I probably went through about 5 ounces of brick weed.
Oh, wow.
And I smoked a lot, man. It's all I did. I needed to supplement something. I needed to get off of the drugs. I needed my body to heal, and the weed helped me get off of those drugs. And I'll never say weed healed me. I'll never say that. It was definitely a catalyst in my healing. It got me started in therapy. It got me started in activism. It got me really working hard on myself.
Well, you said that it got you to feel.
Yeah.
That's the most
That's
important thing.
yeah.
The minute you allow yourself to feel, it opens you to so many other things.
Absolutely.
And then it just takes that one little spark for that catalyst to start it. And
I'll say that it definitely helped in my healing. It gave me a purpose in life again. Because in the military you have this immense purpose, or you feel like you have this immense purpose, and when you get out, what else do you have? What do you have now? You're just a broken vet, because we're like America's fighting dogs who came back out of a fight hurt, and they tie us up in the backyard and forget about us. That's what I feel like, especially with the VA, and
Yeah, tell us about your opinion on the VA.
I hate the VA.
What?
I hate
What is the intensified hate for? From?
the VA. A lack of caring,
Okay.
a lack of care.
The apathy.
Period. Yeah.
Apathetic.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it's because they're so overwhelmed there and they're not trained properly, or they just are just push paper?
You know what? I don't care how overwhelmed you are.
Mm-hmm. I just yeah.
I think they are a little bit overwhelmed, and I'll never deny that. But
But they need to do their jobs.
they need to do their jobs
Okay,
first of all, and
Agreed.
they need to find their humanity and start treating people as equals.
It always comes down to that.
Humanity.
Well, give us an example of that, like that you've.
I say it all the time that the VA knows me as W5757 because that's how they identify me in their computer database.
You're a
Like
number.
inmate number.
I'm a number. Yeah, I'm a number. Absolutely. Everybody that goes to that place is a number. With a lot of the doctors. I'll never, as I said, my therapist is a wonderful therapist. I love working with her because, I tell her all the time I want to write a book with her because she built this. You know what I mean? Like she didn't build this, but she definitely brought this back out. I've always had this fire in me. I just needed to find an outlet for it. Yeah. So, but most of those doctors, a lot of them, especially in the specialty clinics like orthopedics and, like the dentist, and oh my God, I've got some horror stories. But it's just like they don't care.
Yeah.
And those departments are overwhelmed, but they have a serious mismanagement of personnel. I had an appointment with the chief, and that went great. And then the very next appointment, a couple of weeks later, it just went back to shit again. It's like, I guess they just don't know how to treat people. It's really bad. From reception all the way to the doctors. It's
There's
just,
just that feeling like all the way through that you get from them.
Boils down to the whole humanity thing.
Yeah.
And have a concept of it. So that's on the VA. So you've been using marijuana then, and you mentioned your activism.
Yeah, you said it brought out.
It's
so
activism.
like,
What type of
how did that
activism?
happen?
Tell us about that, and of course the sweatshirt you're wearing.
when I mentioned my activism, when I started using cannabis, I started really getting into the science of cannabis and how it worked and why it did what it did for me. And I just wanted to really learn as much as I could about it, because that's what I do. I focus on something and I learn as much as I possibly can, and I want to know as much as I can about things that I'm interested in. So I joined Philly NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, and started getting out of the house and talking to other people and connecting with people and on a common cause, and I'm a very mission-oriented person, and when I have a mission, I set out to accomplish that mission. And marijuana legalization in Pennsylvania and as a whole in the United States is what I've set out to accomplish, especially medical marijuana for vets with PTSD.
So what year did you join Philly NORML?
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
And when did the decriminalization?
I was going to ask you your role in decriminalization. I know.
Actually,
Yeah.
2012. I joined.
2012. And decriminalization was when?
Decriminalization.
It's just been 2
Here,
years.
let me amend when I started
14?
smoking weed. I started smoking weed on May 31st, 2012, not 2013.
Okay.
And then I started getting involved with Philly NORML, and then in December of 2012, my friends were organizing this thing called Smoke Down Prohibition, where they planned on smoking marijuana in front of the Liberty Bell. And we did this every month for a year. But I got involved in that, and I got involved in the organization, and I got involved in organizing things and helping to lead movements. Because I was a leader in the Marine Corps. I was a staff sergeant in the Marine Corps. I was a platoon sergeant for a very long time.
It just comes natural to you to.
I think it does.
And this time you're leading for a cause.
Yeah,
I mean, you led for a cause before, you know what I mean? But
Listen.
this was getting you to a point where
This is a war that I believe in, and
that's what I would
yeah, and I'm not saying when I was in Iraq, I believed in what we were doing in Iraq.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't watch the news. I didn't think about it as like, oh, we're here for nefarious purposes.
But we talked about it before, like that you know when you're in the military, you're doing it for the cognitive dissonance reasons, you know, because that's what
Absolutely.
you were told to do when you were acting on orders, not questioning, and that's cognitive dissonance when you don't have that and you have your own free will and your ability to think for yourself. You can lead a cause that you truly feel and
Yeah.
believe.
You wouldn't believe how many vets still like haven't lost that.
It's probably a hard thing to lose.
It absolutely is.
You know, like to come back
Weed was
and-
a catalyst in me losing that too,
Yeah.
because it allows me to critically think. I think very deeply when I'm on cannabis, and being able to think for myself and think critically has brought me out of that brainwashed state that I was in, because I was in it. I was deep in it. I voted for Mitt Romney in 2012. That's where I was.
Yeah.
Okay. And you know, now that I'm much more open-minded about things and much more at ease with who I am as a person.
You evolved.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy how that happens. It's crazy how, like, I say that this is like my fifth life. Because that's how many times I've gone through like big life changes that I've redefined myself.
Yeah. Really cool. I'm all about that. So.
That's awesome.
I've always kind of had a hard time sleeping. Weed, I dose myself a lot of nights. I make gummies for myself, and I eat like 200 milligrams, and just that gives me 6 hours. And
See, and to hear him the way he's talking right now, you know that there's a medicinal purpose for him to be saying, you know, it's a 200 milligram dose of it. Somebody else was just like, I took an edible. You know what I mean? It's such a different, you know, so.
A lot of people are becoming more educated about using it as medicinal purposes.
Absolutely.
Mindset.
Well, I think that's the whole thing. There's a big difference between that whole pothead mentality to what Mike is doing, what Philadelphia Normal is doing, and what he's doing right now with the Operation Overmed. You know, which, you know.
Did we talk about Operation Overmed?
No.
Let's talk about that.
So Operation Overmed evolved. I was in art school at the Art Institute of Philadelphia. It really helped me evolve a lot as a photographer.
And that was a little catalyst for you to get out and have your passion for photography because your pictures are phenomenal.
Thank you.
We'll get into that a little bit too.
Yes, they are.
I was having a hard time directing models in school for a lighting class. We were learning how to externally light, and I was having a hard time with it. And I said to my instructor, I said, "Hey Phil, what do I do here?" And he said, "You're a vet. Shoot what you know. Go shoot some vets." So that night I went home and I put my camouflage blouse on, my desert camis, rank and everything. Didn't shave. I had my beard, and I held weed in one hand and pills in the other because I figured that why not involve my activism a little bit. I posted it on Facebook and it went viral. It got me a lot of media coverage, which I took full advantage of, and a bunch of vets started reaching out to me. So I started setting up shoots, looking for local vets first. Shot a few vets. It all happened in my house. Actually, a couple of those shots were at the studio at the Art Institute, but most of it happened in my house. That one bathtub shot happened in my bathtub.
Oh, that one too?
Yeah.
Well, like all these.
Yeah, it's her.
That bathtub shot is probably one of my favorite photographs.
It's
Now you
power-
can tell them the photograph.
It's a powerful shot too.
It is.
It's extremely powerful. It's just sort of really.
Unbelievable.
It's
We
a
talked about
photograph
this
of my
yesterday.
friend Chris Muller. He's an army veteran. He's a character.
He had to be to do that picture.
Yeah.
And you know that's why I picked him for it. I said you know I started thinking about Annie Leibovitz and her shot of Whoopi Goldberg in a pool of milk. That illustrated it brought racism to the forefront. It really started a conversation. Annie Leibovitz is an amazing photographer. Because I've always been a street activist. I've always been an organizer. I've always been a protester. I've always been I love civil disobedience. It's one of my favorite things in the world, because it changes things. You know, civil disobedience is the reason that you can get caught with weed in Philadelphia and not get put in jail. Those protests at the Liberty Bell changed the law in Philadelphia.
Did we talk about how you were involved in that?
You also are very active in the whole passing of the decriminalization.
I'm good friends with the two guys who talked to Jim Kenney about the decriminalization.
I
didn't have anything to do with crafting the bill.
Right, but you were pushing force, you were supportive of it.
Absolutely, yeah. I've always been, one of the three biggest activists in Philadelphia when it comes to cannabis. The most vocal activist in Philadelphia. I like to push limits, and I like to.
So tell us an
I
example
like to
of when
ruffle
you've done
feathers.
that.
So when
Yeah.
the decriminalization passed, I was there when Mayor Kenney signed the decriminalization bill, and I said out loud, I want to be the first one that gets a ticket. And a few journalists heard me, and they did a story on me. It was actually a Metro cover. It was a Philly Metro cover story. I've been on the cover of the Metro 4 times.
All pot related?
Yeah, all pot related. Like in typical fashion, I sat down with Chief Inspector Joe Sullivan, the Chief Inspector of the Philadelphia Police Department. Told him I wanted to get the first ticket, and we orchestrated that.
I love that. So
That's great.
right?
And you got the first ticket and you had lit up a joint, and where did you light it up at?
In the middle of City Hall.
The middle of City Hall, and I wake up that morning to Philly.com, Mike Whiter's face, a picture of him lighting a joint, cop standing next to him, and William Penn looking down. It was like a perfect shot. It was like amazing. And had I known back then I'd be sitting here with him today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Because I was actually like, right on. I like this guy. He
If you're
stands
gonna
for
do it,
something.
do it.
If you're gonna stand for something, do it. If you're gonna do it, walk the talks, and you did.
And I like to ruffle feathers when I do things like that.
But they were supportive of it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Because
And what did they give you? How much did you get for that?
I got a $100 fine.
I don't know, and that's if you
Is
smoke
that-
it.
I
If you
thought
smoke
it
it,
was
it's
50.
25 for anything under 30 grams.
Okay.
So that's also helped you then on this crusade for the Operation Overbed too, which
I've been a cannabis activist since I started smoking weed. The day I started smoking weed, I knew that this is something I wanted in my life, and I wanted it to be something that I use as a tool to reach out to people.
how far have you taken this? I mean, so far you've done a lot locally. You've done a lot in the Philadelphia community. I mean, that's actually one of the reasons that you're here. Because, you joined us in community. You joined us in community several times now.
Mm-hmm.
But you've also gone bigger than
But you've also
Philadelphia.
bigger than Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So most recently, when we had our chili cook-off for community back in January, you came and you donated one of your silent auction, one of our silent auction pieces. What was it that you donated?
I shot the cover of High Times, the April
Awesome.
2017 cover.
And what did the cover consist of?
A picture of my friend Pearson Crosby, and he is smoking a joint, half in shadow, half out of shadow,
And he's dressed in.
dressed in camouflage.
It's a powerful picture
It
too.
is.
There was a stigma for people,
Yes.
and it's so taboo, and it's not so taboo anymore.
It's definitely not so taboo. Back in the attitude towards weed has really shifted.
What do you think is the main reason for that?
People talking about it.
Do you think it has to do with like legalization in other states as well?
Legalization in other states helps, but the people that vote are the people that watch mainstream media. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So those are the people that we need to convince that
Mhm.
weed is not a bad thing. So any type of media coverage for weed, good or bad, because the good outweighs the bad 9 times out of 10.
Mhm.
Any media coverage for weed is a good thing. And that's why civil disobedience and me doing what I do and the guys in Philly, specifically in Philly, because we really know how to throw a protest and have a party.
Yeah.
And make waves, because the media covers us.
Yes.
The media covers us a lot.
I've been there and seen this.
The media is a powerful tool.
What do you think is the best argument against marijuana? Do you think there's one?
I mean, there's an argument against everything.
But what do you think seems slightly valid?
What do I think seems bad? That's a damn good question. The cash only business part of marijuana is a problem. Banks really need to get behind financing. Because when you've got a business that just does nothing but cash, you're just asking for a robbery, and that's why they have security at all these places and stuff. But yeah, that's definitely that's an argument that's valid.
Yeah.
That it's a cash only operation.
So if you could give one like word or not a word but like paraphrases somebody who really is against marijuana or the whole aspect of you, what could you say to them that might convince them to not try it because you don't want that, but to accept it?
I'd like to tell people my story. I wear weed related shirts everywhere I go. I'm always talking about weed, and I want to spark conversations with people. I want people to ask me, "Yo, what's that shirt mean?" "Oh, let me tell you what this shirt means," and I tell them. And then, if they're against weed, then I tell them my story. I tell them why I used weed. I tell them what weed did for me.
Awareness once again.
Yeah, absolutely. And
But just conversation as well, just that connection with someone else.
Have people been receptive for the most part?
Yes, very much so.
Were you shocked at this?
That people were receptive?
Yeah.
No, because I know that it's a captivating story. I know that it
Yeah, you have this story to back it.
Well, once again, you walk the talk, so that's something that is a buy-in for people. It's the credibility.
Yeah, exactly.
You're the living proof.
I've had some bad ones. I was not always a good person, and I'll be the first one to tell you that. I used to be a pretty shitty person actually, and I regret that. And I want to be a better person, and that's why I do what I do. I want to make up for all the shitty things that I did, especially in Iraq, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. I want to atone for that, I guess, in a way.
That's beautiful. It's therapeutic.
Absolutely. If you had the shitty person standing next to you, who you were then, with the person you are now, what would you tell that person? What would you say to that person that you were?
Say no.
Interesting.
Don't follow certain orders. Not everybody's right. Just because they make the rules doesn't mean they're right.
That's powerful.
And
it's very powerful.
That's why doing what I do now. I've listened to Rage Against the Machine my whole life, man. But I'm a guitar player too, so I always listen to the guitar and the music part of it, but now I listen to the lyrics and I'm like, I wonder if I've always been a rebel, I just didn't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I listen to those lyrics and I listen to lyrics to other songs that I used to love, and I'm like, damn, those lyrics hit home now.
Yeah.
They're especially Rage Against the Machine.
This is your purpose.
Well, you evolve, you find that purpose, and that we all have those stories.
Yeah.
We all have a past that we did what we had to do because it was sort of what was expected. And it brought us to where we are today. And
your life experiences bring you to where you are. And if I hadn't had those life experiences, I wouldn't be who I am now.
Absolutely.
And I'm grateful for those life experiences.
as you should be. Yeah.
I'm remorseful for those life experiences, but I'm glad that I experienced what I experienced.
That's I look at it I never people always say the mistakes, and I don't look at mistakes. I just look at that was a risk. I took a risk. And it's cool because it led us, like I said, to where we are today, and we were able to sit here today and
have this conversation.
And learn a lot about, you, Mike Whiter, as a person.
Yeah.
Which,
and giving other people the opportunity to hear about this.
Important thing to do is get to know people on a human level.
We agree.
I
I think that's something that we understand.
Yeah,
And that's that's why we connect. I'm really thankful you came out tonight.
Yes, thank you. And you're amazing. And thank you for your story.
Yeah, thank you so much, because this is for beautiful people, and definitely are a beautiful person. So we appreciate you.
On the inside.
Inside.